maybe you've even seen one of the countless video essays documenting the downfall.
Yo, am I in there? I'm in there! Honest to God, I was just gonna sit down on this chair, turn on the TV, finally turn on my Switch after God knows how long because a literal spider has made its home underneath my Pro Controller. Got that picture right there. That's legit. That's for real. And I was gonna sit down and play Pokemon Legends Arceus. Finally get this out of my backlog. But then I happened to refresh my YouTube homepage and I come across a video that actually got pushed to me because of the fact that I've covered Spider-Man Lotus a handful of times here on the channel. And it looks like there's been a brand new development, not even in the form of a tweet or a rumored speculation or something that is just kind of thrown about on the social media webs. It's directly from one of the sources, the VFX Team, publishing a video talking about their experiences with Spider-Man Lotus. They even went as far as to push it on their Twitter feed. But it's an official, legitimate 10-minute YouTube video. And I thought to myself, well, we started this journey together. Why not react to it and possibly end it together? So let's go ahead and take a look at this video called "We Quit Spider-Man Lotus" and see what they say. And just letting you guys know in advance that I might be pausing throughout the video because I don't want the video to just be the one video, watch it. You know, it's not like a gameplay trailer or a movie trailer or anything like that. It's actually something that I want to commentate on and also be transformative with, you know, in all fairness. So let's go ahead and get started here.
Hi, I'm Matt.
Speaking of Switch, he's got a Switch in the background.
VFX artist on the now infamous Spider-Man Lotus. If
now
you're
infamous
this video, you're probably already aware of the situation. Maybe you've even seen one of the countless video essays documenting the downfall.
Yo, am I in there? I'm in there!
Refresher, about 2 months ago, DMs were leaked on Twitter showing the director and star of the film saying some pretty terrible stuff. While some of the DMs were fake, a lot of them were very real.
That was cool. I was in there.
They were super shocking and disappointing to see for all of us on the VFX team, as I'm sure it was for all of you guys. The film's reputation was ruined, and it no longer
I'm still kind of taken by the fact that I was in there at the beginning.
This ultimately led to each member of the VFX team deciding to step away from the project, which was
I remember seeing
like
like that.
Meant stepping away from all the incredibly cool stuff we got to work on while a part of it. Work that I genuinely believe may be some of the best we've ever done. Work that now may have been for nothing. Because of this, I wanted to make this video and push aside the drama for just a bit and really shine a spotlight on all the incredibly hardworking and passionate and dedicated individuals on this VFX team who made some really amazing stuff happen. Stuff that...
First of all, I love his hair. Second of all, I genuinely do. I'm not even being sarcastic. But yeah, that's something that's ultimately one of the bigger tragedies of this whole thing that went down is, you know, it's 2-3 guys maximum if you count the Green Goblin actor, you know, with Gavin and Warden, and what they said that really just tarnished the experience because human beings on a psychological level, just all around, you know, not just on social media, but just all around on a very general psychological level, gravitate towards negativity. The biggest example, the biggest litmus test for this is reviews for restaurants. If you go on Google or Yelp, how many times did you actually feel compelled to write a review on those websites, on those publications, when you had a bad experience? When you have a good or great experience at a restaurant, you go, oh my God, that was the best food. That was great. You might tell your friend that you went to that restaurant with, or the person that you took out on a date. You know, maybe later on that evening or the next morning when you go into work, you'll be like, dude, I had this food at this amazing restaurant at this place. Go check it out. Did you actually write a review about it? No, you probably didn't. I'm guilty of it. But when you have a terrible experience at a restaurant, if you found a hair in your food, if your delivery was late, how quick are you to even set up an account for Yelp or for Google Food Reviews or whatever it's called? How many times? And it's true. On Twitter, you know, this spread fire faster than the actual proof of concepts and the artwork and the visual effects stuff that was being kind of chronicalized, if that's even a word, as time kind of went on with the production of this. And yeah, it kind of hurts that, like you mentioned, some of the stuff we may not even see, at least maybe until now. Let's go ahead and press on forward with the video.
That now we want to share with all of you guys. So
Just gonna share it.
I hope you enjoy.
The model. And the music sounded genuinely pretty good too.
Lotus alongside Justice Sketches, which of course is his legal name.
I'm Justice Sketches. I was another modeler on the Lotus team, and today I'm going to be talking about the Lotus model.
One of the
Look at
first
this.
things I did when I came onto the project was retopologize Spider-Man. If you don't know what retopology is, basically it's taking a model and reducing the amount of data while still keeping its shape.
Wow.
and form. For all you nerds out there, this process led to us going from
Hey, Corridor Digital. If you guys are hiring, check this guy out.
743.
I started by finishing up Miro's retopology job, smoothing things out, and
Dude, I love you, but get a better camera.
presentable. After that,
I'm
I
kidding.
added the seams.
He's probably
Seam
using the
lines are
one
important
inside of his
because it
iMac.
gives the suit some definition, and obviously the real Lotus suit has
Yo, I'm
seam
checking out
lines
that
because it's an actual like sewn together costume.
After retopologizing the model, I
Great work, but I'm a little distracted by that spider shrine in the back. It's dope.
details onto the model in general.
And then from there, it was only
Look
a
at that.
matter of finishing up the webs. Yugo 9P1 did the wrinkles of the costume, which also really adds to the realism. Something
It
the
actually
MCU
looks pretty
films
good,
don't
too.
Utilizes wrinkles, but they are quite important.
After Justice Yuga and I had finished our work on the model, I rigged it, basically giving it a skeleton that we could use to start animating the model.
That classic T-posing.
Hey guys, we are the animators on Spider-Man Lotus. So what
Oh,
we do
that
is
kind of
we
hurt seeing the little "we
use the
were"
shot, one of us would
asterisks.
go dibs, and then the person who was going to do the shot would do it, finish it, and then send it off to the other guy. The other guy would add his little additions.
Are
in,
they
and then
using,
we'd be going back and forth,
PS4
using
Spider-Man
depending
music?
on how much changes were made, and then we'd send it off to Max so he could do the rest.
This shot, you've probably seen it countless times all over the internet.
It is.
So many leaks.
Are you shitting me?
And it took months and months of work. So I did this whole shot. I animated the whole shot.
Is
Felt
it-
there
is
was
it just
problems.
me?
Not a big deal. I didn't get that far into it. I'll do
I'm sorry, but hold on. Let me actually
Reanimate.
play it a little bit, or rather rewind. There's certain ways that this guy on the left is expressing himself. Oh, actually, this is a perfect shot. Is it just me, or does he look like a rather young and maybe just a little broader, like a slightly broader but younger Sam Raimi? I know, maybe I'm looking into it a little bit too much, considering, the correlation here. But is it just me, or does he kind of slightly bear resemblance to Sam Raimi? Anyways, moving on.
and months of work. So I did this
10
whole shot.
months.
I animated the whole shot. but
Just
something
for the
was wrong with
shot?
it. Not a big deal. I didn't get that far into it. I'll do it again. I reanimated it again. Something was still wrong with it. So I had to reanimate it a third time. And then the third time I reanimated, there was again something wrong with it. Not if you want to guess what I had to do after that.
Actually, I'm kind of lost on that one. You might have to tell me what you did.
I'll help you out. I had to do it for a fourth time. I was finally happy with this shot. Except that I wasn't, and I ended up doing it 3 more times after that. After so much pain, and so much hard work, and blood, sweat, and tears, and all sorts of other bodily fluids, Audif finally arrived on the scene.
talking about?
My knight in shining armor. My beautiful knight in shining armor. He came in, he picked up the shot, he polished off the last little bit of it, and just made it, mwah, chef's kiss.
I hated a specific shot on this. It is one of my proudest shots in the movie, the fire escape shot. Let me
Whoa.
tell you something about Blender, folks.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my follow-up questions here. Were they using Blender? What exactly was the engine that they were utilizing for pretty much the whole overall work? Because that's the thing, as I watched more of Corridor Digital's videos, behind the scenes stuff of how they made certain things, and then of course them reacting to their famous visual effects artist reacts series, and how they break down how to create some of these visuals that sometimes people take for granted and are kind of quick to lambast online, especially with the ongoing She-Hulk series right now, which on the one hand, yeah, the effects could look shoddy. On the other hand, we also have to take into account that human beings are working on these things tirelessly, and maybe it's not them who should we be blaming, it's the people who are running them. Because sometimes physics just kind of break into themselves within the engine, especially for a character as animated, as fluid, and as kinetic as Spider-Man. Spider-Man's always swinging, therefore physics are always being used.
Flip.
Iron Man, sorry, but all he has to do is go pew, punch like that and he's standing. You know, there's very little physics work going on right there, except maybe how certain armor pieces have kind of clashing into themselves. Outside of that, it's cakework compared to someone like Spider-Man, where you have, like they mentioned, the creases in the suit and his constantly moving, constantly aerodynamic, and because of that, you think, one thing, like an arm movement or a leg movement is looking rather nice, and then the next time that Spidey moves, as you play the video and you render the video out, you notice, oh, that thing looks jank. Re-render. Me as a simple editor here, it's certain things just kind of crash into themselves, and my editing software just crashed, and I have to re-render it. Sometimes render in chunks. They sometimes had to render in chunks, send that on over. The previous guy probably had to work on the shot on a specific level, and in order to get better detail, he had to pass that on over to this guy to then re-render it on his rig. It's a process, guys. It's a process that, trust me, I know about. Well, I'm not gonna say I know the struggle, but I am aware of it. Like, I don't empathize in a way where, like, I've been through it. No, I'm not gonna go as far as to say that, because I'm not a visual effects animator. But at least I'm an editor, and I am sentient to what the visual effects department, all the men, women, and people of visual effects departments have to go through to make the magic happen.
If you're a beginner in Blender, the camera ain't your friend. The camera wants to kill you. It took me a week to fix this camera, and I do not think it's 100% even today. On a positive note, though, this shot was very fun to work on. I had a lot of fun with the animation. It was
yeah, that's the thing. The finished results, as soon as you watch that finished result, that's
against that disgusting
you get this serotonin boost where you're like, that's why we do it.
There's a lot of hard work, a lot of time, a lot of effort that went into this film over the past year. There's a lot of shots that we finished, but there's also a lot of shots and ideas that we never got to finish or never even got to use.
I really hope you guys got a little bit of an understanding of what it is that we did. When the shot rolls around, I hope you guys enjoy it.
On to you, Max, with this amazing high quality transition.
Wow, Hunter, that transition was terrible. It was my responsibility on the film to make those beautiful animations look even better. My plan of attack, attempting to faithfully recreate the greatest.
Oh my god.
Wow, Max.
They had to recreate New York. That's just a whole beast unto itself. Like, that's insane. And it's so timely too, considering that Spider-Man, Insomniac Spider-Man just came out on PC, and one of the talks about that release is just how to faithfully recreate New York City with, like, ray tracing and the puddle effects and all that stuff. So now we have literally just 3, 4, 5 guys trying to put New York to look like that together. That's insane.
How are you going to do that? I'm so glad you asked, because the answer is incredibly simple with this little thing called reference. I traveled all around the city gathering photos and videos that I could use to recreate.
Just like John Dykstra and the original team did with the Raimi movies back in the early 2000s. They would just take photos and photos and photos and photos of New York.
For some shots, I was able to project this material onto simple geometry, and for others, I used it as a guide to create the sets almost entirely from scratch. After that, I did about 100,000 other things to make the shots actually look good. Here's the final product.
Okay. Wait, so this is a visual effects shot? Ooh. Ooh, okay, that was a clean transition. I like that. And yeah, we all like this shot right here. Okay. A little on the saturated side, but you know, a little too bright, a little too sharp, but overall, really good. This is really not bad. Too fast? Okay, that's a nice little detail. God damn it. That really would have been one of the selling shots of the movie.
Before we leave you guys, we just wanted to clarify some of the misconceptions that have been going around regarding our treatment from the director during our involvement of the film.
We really do appreciate all the messages we've been getting. Really nice. However, there is a lot of information out there that is just simply untrue, or it's been exaggerated. So that's why we want to just clear the air a little bit.
Prior to this team coming together, there was a former VFX team on the project. One of the members of this VFX team, who hadn't been working on the film for several months, made a Twitter thread talking about their experience.
Laura JPEG.
That Twitter thread is kind of unintentionally responsible for a lot of the misconceptions going on about the VFX work on this project.
It's one of the things I mentioned in my essay.
The more recent VFX team weren't on the old one, so we can't speak for everything that happened there. But what we can say is that a lot of the experiences that we shared on this team were not the same as the one on the old one.
On the other hand, Max and I were a part of that original team, and what I experienced was completely different from what was talked about in that thread. So something that was hammered home was the time crunch, and I know he did clarify after he made that tweet. A lot of that was not Gavin's fault. Gavin gave ample time for them to complete their work, and even offered to push back the initial release date of the trailer so that they could finish what needed to be done. They kept reassuring him that it would be done and be done in time. On the day of the release, we still weren't done yet. Gavin had to go live and temper down fans because we were still rendering the video. And once we had the render finished,
So it was a underestimation of time?
Premiere. And
by the way, this guy also loves Batman and Spider-Man together,
so,
just
yes,
like me.
There was a crunch,
Got the Batman
but was it
sheet
really
there.
Gavin's fault entirely? No.
As for my involvement with that previous VFX team, the only unprofessionalism I experienced the entire time was from that VFX team themselves.
Now to speak about the treatment for this current VFX team, I think I can speak for about everybody on this team where I think we were all very well treated from day one to the final day. I remember getting so many texts just with love and support and high praise all the time. And if we had ever seen anything even kind of reminiscent to the behavior that you see in those leaked DMs, we would have left the project immediately. It is as simple as that.
At no point on the project did I feel stressed out due to a lack of time, because you always reassured that at the end of the day, Spider-Man Lotus is a fan film and that we shouldn't stress out about it.
So on a final note, I just wanted to say that I think I speak for all of us. This is definitely one of the best collaborations that we've all ever been a part of. I just wanted to thank you guys for sitting here and watching all the shots that we did. It really means a lot, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you guys all for sticking around and watching. Have a good day.
Alrighty.
Bye-bye.
So, I mean, their testimony is that, what was kind of unfolding and what kind of went down as far as what I covered in the essay and all that stuff, this is the thing that we can kind of take away as truth, is that they did not experience, this visual effects team did not experience those things, those issues with the director. When it comes to Warden Wayne, he was an actor, so anything that had to do with him is kind of funneled to him being on set and working with the people on set, so they can't commentate on that. And they were very smart to say things like that, to say things like, we can't comment on the prior visual effects team, we can't speak for them, we can just only speak for us, which is true. And I have to take their word for it. This team did not experience any of the issues that Gavin had to deal with. Or the things that kind of Gavin was being accused by, what was kind of unearthed about him by that teenager who may or may not be, may or may not have had his hands clean in and of themselves. So it's cool that they put this video together to kind of give us a visual effects breakdown, because personally, I've always just loved seeing visual effects get broken down to see how they work, especially on a smaller budget, on a much more startup kind of a perspective like this. So that was pretty damn cool to witness. But like they mentioned here at the end, is that it's great to hear that they didn't experience the crunch and they didn't experience any of the negative kind of connotations or negative environment or toxic environment that Gavin and Warren were being accused for. But likewise, they cannot also full on speak for the people that have made those accusations. So they were kind of smart to kind of veer a little away from that. Outside of that, though, I really enjoyed that they put together this video, and I'm glad that it kind of left it on a much better note, a much more slightly optimistic note, to say that, hey, this was a great collaboration, they had a great experience, and there's potential for other future experiences that maybe this team could work on again, other superhero short films or original short films that will then give them work in the professional landscape. And I wish nothing but the best for them. Outside of that, there hasn't really been any huge developments with Spider-Man Lotus, but this was a great feel-good video. What did you guys think of the visual effects team putting together this video about quitting Spider-Man Lotus and exactly what went down with the issues regarding the controversy behind the film? And do you think that, do you feel bad that some of these visual effects shots are not may or may not see the light of day should the film not get released? Or if it does get released, does this get you kind of amped up seeing the visual effects being put to work here? Because some of these shots did look legitimately pretty good, especially for a short film, or I'm sorry, not short film, but a fan film. Let me know your guys' opinions in the comment section below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. In the meantime, though, stay humble. Peace out.